Rich is at work and the boiler goes. There's a fungus among us. Story of our life.
Just broke the bit completely off.
Well, we have a diagnosis, folks. Welcome to our channel. I'm Kathy and that's Rich, and we're building an unconventional off-grid earth-sheltered house here in the Adirondack Park of New York State. Not being buried this year means that we are not insulated, and we've been battling problems with condensation on the inside of the dome. And this week, our worst fears came true. But we have a diagnosis, and there is hope for the future. That's cabinet blocking. We have a lot more to do. Definitely got to take a picture of this before we close it in.
Yeah. Whatever. The gas pipe is now secure and protected. Hopefully they don't have a problem with that. I think it's overkill, to be honest. I gotta put a plate there. I got 49.
This looks like what the people have in theirs. You like to make it look like I do nothing.
Can you help me with this?
No, now I really want to see you do it yourself.
Yeah, I'll be happy if this is up. That'll give us a little bit of a
Privacy?
yeah. So let's
Yes.
just sort of lay it. It should lay right on this one. As high as I could reach.
Stove.
This will be the last piece for today, Kathy. And by looking at these little holes right here, now I know exactly where I got to put a block of wood. Alright, so now I got the blocking in for those 2 points where I'm going to mount the handrail.
Rich is at work and the boiler goes. It stopped working. I already called the plumber, and the plumber explained that there's no pressure. I guess if you look at this number right here, it's 0, psi. That means there's no pressure in the system. And he said the reason why there's no pressure in the system suddenly is because we have that little tiny leak at the bleeder valve in the bathroom. Those bleeder valves that came with the slant fin are awful. They just don't work right. And it's been on Richie's list to fix it, but he has to drain the entire system to do it. But the plumber said that eventually it bleeds out enough that it drains the system of its pressure and it won't work. So we have no hot water and no heat, and it's been snowing all day, so that's fun.
So just take the washing machine hose, hook the washing machine hose to that, and then just to the service valve, or even just droop it over and do it right at your well pump.
I'm going to go right from the well pump because I got the other end already hooked up to it. Once I get that, what'd you say, between 15 and 20 pounds?
Yeah.
And then it should work? I'll just start it up?
Yeah, then the boiler will fire once there's pressure on it.
Alright. Alright, so we're supposed to do this. Do this. And we turn on this water here. We get some water coming from there. And then he said to open this up and watch this pressure on here. There's 11, 13. It's doing stuff. So yeah, I unplugged it and plugged it back in again, and it started after we put some pressure. There's our pressure, 22.7.
Richie fixed it. We have hot water. Yay!
So yeah, evidently this thing needs some kind of pressure inside. I don't know.
Well, we know now, right?
We know now.
Oh, honey, never a dull moment around here.
Crisis averted.
It is a beautiful day outside. What do we got, Rich?
Looks like 5,558 watts.
Whoa. That's fantastic.
Batteries are charging at 4.92.
So this would be a good time to turn on the electric heater and see what happens?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So we'll see if our solar input goes even higher.
Okay, because we have 6,400 watts.
Right. I want to see if we can max it out.
Let's go see what happened just now. All right, turned it on. What happened?
Well, it only went to 56. 56.1. But we are pulling 1,900 watts now from the house, from that heater. And we dropped our charge rate on the batteries a little bit, see it?
Yeah.
So wherever the sun is at now in the sky, that's pretty much the maximum what we're getting.
What time is it right now?
It's only 10:40.
Oh, it's early. So that should increase
It should.
as the day increases. So the system is definitely working exactly as we planned it to. Look at this, it's cold out. Everything is completely frozen. But let's see what the panels look like. Yeah. They're in full sun. When it reaches the highest angle of the day, we should reach maximum input. And then it'll start to decrease again. But yeah, it's a great system. A couple of things that we've learned from another couple who built the same or similar house to us with the kit in Arizona. They recommended that we do not put any more quick wall on the walls until after we're covered with dirt, because that's very heavy and it does make the walls flex very slightly. And they did that and they had some cracks afterwards. So we are going to wait until after we're covered to finish the walls. And they also shared with us that depending on the temperature of the dirt that we cover it with, it can take longer or shorter for the house and the dirt surrounding it to reach equilibrium. So next winter, we may not really know how efficient this house is going to be.
All right, so before we can close up that wall, we got to put this wire in for the ERV thermostat control.
Okay. Anything ever easy for us. Let's go see if it fits. There it is. Definitely gonna need some spackle.
I need to come through right there.
I can't have this.
All right, so what we're going to try and do is feed it through every single hole that they did.
Oh.
All the way across.
It's plenty.
And then we got to turn and go to there. It looks like it'll be good to go that way.
Yeah, I think there's plenty.
Okay. That way. So there's the wire. Can you see it?
Yes. I can see it.
All right. So yeah, put it down in that hole.
Oh my God, it's not. I can barely reach, honey. I think you need to do it.
That's tight because you got to be little fingers behind
No.
the thingy.
I see what you're saying. Where's the hole?
Between the stud.
There it is. I got it. No. I just need to be like 4 inches higher.
Yeah, make a hook. It's a tight spot.
I'm on my tippies.
Once you get that though, you're home free.
Am I?
Yeah.
Home free, baby. Home free.
Perfect. You got to get the little box
How's
now.
my sheetrock look? Well, there's big gaps, but it'll be okay, right?
Oh yeah. Does that look good?
Looks perfect. So it'll have a wood cubby inside, three-sided, and the bottom will have a piece of slate. And then there'll be trim all the way around the whole thing. We don't have a lot of storage in this house, so we gotta make use with whatever we can.
I had a nickel for every time you told me we didn't have enough storage.
Every woman believes that, I think. It's not showing up in the camera, but it's making up 5.98. It was just at 6,000.
Not as much as they're gonna make.
I hope I got the 6,000. It was the most we ever saw. It's dropping now. That must have been noon.
Quick action here. All right, so if I plug this in, it should turn on. I did this right. It's working. Nice. Can't wait to get this thing hooked up. That's going to be huge. This would simulate the thermostat. When I open this circuit, it should shut off. And it did. Okay, good.
All right, it's much later in the day and we're still taking in enough watts to cover the electric heater, all the lights, the radio, and everything else that we're doing right now. Batteries are maintaining 100%. Yeah, there's a little bit of a shadow on the solar panels way on the left over there, which is the reason why we need to take down a bunch of trees here. Actually, the red tape is still good. It's still sticky. Do we need it for anything tonight?
I don't know.
It's like ripping a Band-Aid off. Yeah, it looks like it's crooked.
All right, so that means whatever I did down below
Is not right.
is not right. Okay, so
This should match up, right? Perfect? Yeah.
Hang on, I'm gonna hand you this again.
Okay, something's not right. Story of our life.
Against the wall. Let me
Okay.
see the other one.
There.
I want to get this piece in.
But
Just broke the bit completely off. Well, Kathy and I just discovered a few things.
there's a fungus among us.
It's a fungus.
Holy mold.
Holy mold.
I don't know.
Ah, boy, with all this condensation.
Well, look at the condensation first. You see it on the wall there?
Yeah, it doesn't really show good on the camera.
Water is literally dripping down in here. And if you look really far down, right in here, there's a piece of plywood behind the, what do you call those things? Rim joists?
Yeah, floor joists.
Floor joists, because we had to do something because these first few floor joists had to be in. So there's a piece of plywood. We got tons of tar paper on it to protect it from the other side, from the shotcrete. But this side now has mold. And it's like a white, fuzzy, fungusy mold growth. And yeah, we have to take care of that. The entire wool area has a tremendous amount of condensation on it. If we look up here, there's a tremendous amount of condensation still up there.
It's definitely wet. but it's not really wet behind it.
I hate to think of what the wood in the entry is like.
Yeah. But yet over here, dry as a bone.
Yeah. I think it's just this first barrel section. I think because the tarp isn't really covering it there really well. Honestly.
Maybe.
This whole side is kind of open. There's no tarp over it, and it gets pretty cold. Plus, it's a tough corner for heat to get to, if you think about it. Just add it to the list, right, honey? I don't know what to do. And the reason we just found that is because we were planning out the stove hood ventilation, because that has to go in the bathroom ceiling downstairs. So we had to plan where that is going to come up out of the floor and where it's going to go out the wall down there, which will be to the right and above the bathroom vent, the white pipe you see. And when we were looking at it, we noticed the leak, then we noticed the condensation on the ceiling, and then we looked a little bit closer, and yeah, a fungus among us.
Holy mold.
It's not funny, but yeah.
How about holy moldy? This is right underneath the mold that we saw upstairs. That can't be good. This is our bedroom.
Even did inside.
I'm gonna put the hydraulic cement on next.
See, this isn't even sticking. The wall's too cold. All right, we are spackled, first coat, on all the sheetrock. And we are taped and hydraulic cement in the shower. It's messy looking, but it won't look like this after it's all dry. But we used the hydraulic cement where there were big gaping holes, because we're gonna micro cement the entire interior of the shower, except for the floor, which will be tile. Next step is Red Guard. It's actually a membrane. There's a pretty cool Christmas gift we got. Rich and I are gonna open it up and have a toast with dinner, because our bathroom is getting close to done. Well, we have a diagnosis, folks. It is SSS, sweating slab syndrome. And some days are worse than others. We knew what it was, but we didn't have the right terminology, and now we do. We are suffering from sweating slab syndrome. And yeah, it's not really funny, because it's caused some mold and some other issues. But the good news is, we know that once this dome is covered properly next year, this should no longer be a problem. It's been 24 hours. It did not dry. What's rolling in tonight?
4 to 8, 9, 10, 12.
224.
4 feet.
So we're in a bit of a quandary.
It was an epiphany.
I don't want to call it a problem. Let's call it a challenge.
All right, well, we're going to be sporting a whole new look for the summer of 2023 racing season.
And you're happy, aren't you?
What do you think?
It's sharp. It's bright, but it's sharp.